Hello everyone, it's Becky here from Ivy's Corner, and I am back once again to do another little mini monotangle, breaking down a Zentangle pattern for you to learn and draw and hopefully enjoy using in your own artwork and tiles going forward. Maybe you already know a lot of the patterns that I'm drawing, but a little refresher is useful. Maybe you're completely new to the Zentangle method and you are exploring all of the amazing patterns that you can draw as part of this amazing drawing method. If you are new to the Zentangle method, or perhaps this is the first time you've ever heard the word Zentangle, you can look on my website, ivys-corner.com, where you will find all sorts of resources to help you find out about the Zentangle method, what it is, how to get started. I have a free introduction lesson. I also have a free intermediate lesson if you're already familiar with the Zentangle method. I have lots of courses, including a beginner's course, a next steps in Zentangle course, and also a monthly membership where we tangle together every other week. And yeah, just loads of stuff going on to really immerse yourself in this wonderful world of Zentangle. But for now, we are going to be drawing a Zentangle HQ pattern today. This is one that I've always enjoyed drawing. It's a really fun and very simple tangle to learn and looks good on any tile. So let's hop over to my desk. We are going to be drawing Nzeppel today. So here is my desk. As ever, I have my small square 2" by 2" tile, my pen, pencil, and my tortillon. To find out more about all of these supplies, you can check out my website with lots more information on Zentangle tools and supplies. And with Nzeppel, we are going to start off just by drawing a little kind of string on our tile. Now, string is just a guideline we place down lightly in pencil on our tile to give us a space to fill, essentially. So I'm going to draw a fairly large kind of random shape on my tile, like so. You don't have to do this, but it's a nice way to give you something to fill. Now, with my pen, I'm using a Micron 05 here. I'm going to start just drawing some simple lines across this space. So again, if you're familiar with the Zentangle method, you will know that we create these tangle patterns out of a mixture of what we call the elemental strokes, which are the letters I, C, S, and O, or pen strokes that resemble those letters at least. When we draw our tangle patterns, they usually are comprised of 1 to 3-ish, probably, of, a combination of these different pen strokes. So I'm going to start off by drawing some straight lines, so like the I of our I, C, S, and O, and I'm going to just travel these across my shape in a fairly random way. So I'm going to just draw lines across, and this is one of the few tangles, I suppose, where you will cross lines that you've already drawn. It does occasionally happen in the Zentangle method, but more often than not we draw behind things, but we are sort of setting up a grid here of sorts. I'm just going fairly randomly with my lines. Some of these are crossing in the diagonal, but I'm also going to throw a few lines in that are kind of random along my tile as well, not necessarily intersecting at specific areas. I think I'm going to leave it there actually, because I don't want to make these spaces too tiny. And what we're going to do with the tangle Nzeppel is we're going to fill these spaces that we've created with these random lines, or this kind of crazy grid that we've drawn on our tile. And it's almost like we're going to kind of squash a shape into the shapes that we've created here. Now, in order to do that, we're going to be retracing the lines that already exist on the tile and rounding off any corners. So I'm going to invite you now to pick up your pen and choose a space. It can be any space on your tile, and just draw over some of the lines. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to retrace this line here, but I'm going to then cut off the corners and curve those corners there. Retrace the rest of this line, but curving the corners every time. Turning my tile, continuing to retrace, but any time there's a corner or a line intersecting, I'm just curving a line around to create this kind of squashed in pebble inside the shape that we had. Almost as if you've got a squishy ball and you've shoved it into a gap. So you can imagine like a piece of plasticine or something that you've squashed inside this shape that is available to us, this gap. Essentially, this tangle is now just repeating that same process again and again with these different shapes on our kind of mini kind of crazy grid. So the restating of the lines is kind of a nice way to emphasize these lines and add emphasis to them. I find that sometimes it's, you might think, oh, I can just round off the corners, but if you restate them, what you end up with is having a slightly more weight to the lines of these initial lines that you drew, and it leaves these kind of crossing lines in the centre almost a little bit lighter, and it gives it a nice almost spiderweb type effect. So with these ones here, I am just going to follow around on my string line here, and then restate these lines and curve off the corners. So taking your time, and that's the key with Zentangle, is we always just take our time Don't rush through it. The purpose of doing these patterns in this drawing is not to rush through. It's to take our time and just enjoy the sense of creating and watching the ink flow from the pen to the paper. And once I've done a few of these kind of around this central point here, you can see how we're starting to get this kind of interesting kind of spider web type look. And what I do find interesting about this tangle in particular is that we start off with these lines being the focal point. And then as we move through this tangle, we end up filling the space, but with sort of negative space. So you can see here that these squashed shapes that are sort of fitting into these gaps almost now look like they are the things that we drew first. And it does start to look like we've filled the tile with these interesting random shapes, but we're not really drawing an awful lot of lines. We're filling the tile with spaces and empty spaces essentially, but giving the illusion of having things there. So it's a very fun tangle. It's a very simple tangle and one I always really enjoy drawing. Now there are a couple of options with Nzeppel. You can leave it in this way, leave these kind of intersections here, these spider web-like intersections completely clear, or clear enough that you can see where those web-like structures sit. Or if you wanted to, you could go ahead and ink them in. And I think I will do that today just to show you, because you can see this version here and how it looks. And I'll quickly just ink these in and show you how it looks when you ink them in, and it gives it a little bit more depth and boldness to it. It gives you a little bit of more drama than if you left it blank, but I think it depends on how you choose to use this tangle on your tiles, because I do think it's a nice one to use as a background texture. It's a fun one to draw behind other tangles that you maybe have added to your tile, and perhaps you don't want to have that kind of dramatic inky space that's going to perhaps detract from anything else that's in front of these. So I'm just going to take my time and fill these in with ink, and hopefully you will see now that it's almost like we've got this kind of crazy paving that we've created with these stones of maybe a crazy paved pathway that have been slotted together in order to fill the space, and these little pebbles have squeezed inside the space that we initially drew with our pencil. So there's just a couple more for me to do here, and then I will quickly show you how I like to shade this. I think it's nice to really emphasize the curves of these pebble shapes that we've added in when it comes to the shading. So there's all of my inked spaces in. I'm going to cap my pen and grab my pencil, and simply with the shading for this one, I mean, obviously there's all different ways that you can shade any tangle in the Zentangle method, but I like to just draw a simple curve or a line, sort of in roughly the same orientation on each of my little pebbles. And what this is going to do is just to help create some nice curvature. It's not, in Zentangle, we don't generally focus upon a light source when shading, but when you do shade everything in kind of the similar kind of location in the same way as this, like all of these curves are more or less in the same orientation on each of these shapes, we do end up kind of almost giving the illusion of a light source shining down from up here and casting a shadow on the bottom sections of these, let's call them pebbles. And so just a simple line of graphite that's softened into a gradient by our tortillon is going to just give the effect of this being curved. Really, really fun tangle, really simple tangle, a very easy one to learn and a quick one to draw if you're just looking for something relaxing to do at the end of a busy day. So that is the Tangle and Nzeppel. I hope you enjoyed learning this one today, and I really look forward to seeing if you've used it in some of your own artwork or tiles. So do let me know if you have done so. You can leave a comment below and let me know what you've been up to using this tangle. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you can find out more information about me and what I do over at ivies-corner.com. You can follow me on all the usual social media channels, which are also linked below. And if you enjoyed this free content that I put onto my YouTube channel, then I would be really grateful if you would consider buying me a virtual coffee on my Ko-fi page. That is also linked in the description below. I always try to post lots of free content onto YouTube so I can spread the Zentangle joy. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video.